Hi guys, I hope that okay, good, we're live. So we're live on YouTube and I'm doing this through Zoom. I'm going to then put this up right now. I have it on private. So Definite was kind enough to send this to me, and this is the affidavit from the state. Hi guys, I hope that okay, good, we're live. So we're live on YouTube and I'm doing this through Zoom. Second. Sorry, my YouTube started playing. Anyway, let me get back here. So Definite was kind enough to share this with me, and I'm going to go through it with you. This is Estate versus Lori Vallow, Chandler Police Department. You know about the new charges about the death of Charles Vallow. So let's look at this. This is a synopsis first, which is on 7/11/2019 at 8:32 hours, the Chandler Police Department was called to the address of, and they redact the number there, South Four Peaks Place in Chandler, reference a shooting. The caller, who identified himself as Alex Cox, that's Lori's brother, indicated that he had shot his brother-in-law, Charles Vallow, in self-defense. As a result, a homicide investigation took place and all pertinent parties to the incident were interviewed. The scene was also processed and analyzed based on these interviews. At the conclusion of the investigation on 7/11/2019, there was concern about a potential bullet strike on the ground near Charles Vallow's body. I can't talk tonight. There was also concern regarding the timeline of events that came to light in the days following the homicide. None of these concerns would immediately provide probable cause for the arrest of anyone present at the time of the murder, and more investigation was necessary. In the weeks following the murder of Charles Vallow, investigators learned that Charles and Lori Vallow were experiencing turmoil in their marriage. As a result, Charles moved Lori into the residence on Four Peaks Place with Lori's daughter, Tylee Ryan, and their adoptive son, JJ Vallow, who was diagnosed with, I'm sure that's probably says autism, but it's redacted. Charles Vallow remained in Texas and came into town to visit on 7/10/2019. When looking into the relationship between Lori and Charles, it was learned that Lori had accused Charles of infidelity, which led to their separation. It was also learned that during the uncertainty of their relationship, Lori left JJ with Charles and disappeared for over 2 months. It was also learned that Charles was concerned for Lori's mental health, as she had begun to express that she was selected to prepare 144,000 people for the end of the world. Concerned for her well-being and that of the children, Charles filed a mental health petition asking for a mental health evaluation. In the petition, Charles talked about how Lori had told him that he was possessed by a dark spirit by the name of Ned Schneider. Lori would even refer to Charles in conversation and documentation by the name of Ned. This turmoil in the relationship can be substantiated through police reports, court orders, police body cam footage, cell phone records, and witness testimony. On 10/3/2019, the Chandler Police Department learned of the attempted murder of, on 10/2/2019, redacted, reported that someone shot at him when he was arriving home when he exited his vehicle in front of his Gilbert residence. Now, we know that this is the ex-husband of, what's her name? Pawlowski, Melanie Pawlowski, right? Because we know about this. In front of his Gilbert residence. He indicated that he was shot, that the shot was fired from the back of a Jeep Wrangler parked down the street from his residence. The person, name redacted, suspected that the shooter was possibly Alex Cox. Person further reported that Lori Vallow was to blame for his impending divorce from his wife, the niece to Lori, and then provided authorities with insight into the extreme religious beliefs of Lori Vallow and Alex Cox. The person suspected that these beliefs led him to lose his wife and also led to the murder of Charles Vallow. While continuing to investigate the murder of Charles Vallow, person, which should be Kay Woodcock right there, we know that because they say grandmother of JJ Vallow, contacted Detective Moffat and was concerned about JJ. She indicated that she had not heard from JJ and that Lori was not allowing him to call or video message her and her husband. It was discovered that Lori had relocated to Rexburg, Idaho with Alex Cox, her brother. Idaho authorities were asked to conduct a welfare check on J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan. And during the welfare check in November of 2019, Lori indicated that the children were staying with blah, 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 but in Arizona. And that is Melanie Gibb that we know from our looking at this case, right? So they redacted her name there. Investigators contacted blank and determined that this was not the case. Lori also told another witness that JJ and Tylee went to stay with blah, blah, blah. This was obviously not the case either. That was the grandmother she was telling people. During this time, investigators learned that Lori Vallow had married Chad Daybell, who was a resident of Rexburg, Idaho. Strangely, Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell, died in her sleep on 10/19 of 2019, and Lori and Chad would marry within a month of Tammy's passing. As a result, investigators from the Chandler Police Department, the Gilbert Police Department, the Rexburg Police Department, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations began to coordinate efforts to locate JJ and Tylee, and also investigate the respective cases within their jurisdictions. This coordinated effort consisted of numerous search warrants on telephone records, social media accounts, bank accounts, medical records, email accounts, residences, and seized electronic devices. As a result of the data recovered, it was believed that none of the mentioned crimes were coincidence or justifiable. Specifically to Chandler, the evidence shows that Charles's death was a planned event and necessary to prevent Charles and others from confronting Lori about her extreme religious beliefs when he came to town on 7/11/2019. The death of Charles Vallow was also necessary in order for Chad Daybell and Lori Daybell to marry and fulfill their religious prophecy. It was discovered that Lori Vallow believed she was an exalted goddess, and she and Chad were directed to lead 144,000 people in preparing for the end of the world. Through this investigation, many witnesses came forward and provided insight into this belief system. Using these interviews and the data gathered from the above-mentioned warrants, several others who shared Lori and Chad's belief system were identified. Those pertinent to the investigation were identified as, and that's all redacted. It was discovered that Lori and Chad believed that they had extraordinary abilities. Some of these abilities included the power to teleport and cause harm to others, the ability to call up natural disasters, the ability to pray away demonic spirits attached to others, and also visionary capabilities. Because of these abilities provided to them, they felt that they were qualified to tell whether someone had a light or a dark scale associated with them. The scale would indicate whether or not they had become demonic spirits attached to them, whether or not they had demonic spirits attached to them. Lori and Chad would often refer to these dark spirits by an actual name, by a certain level of spirit, or by using the term zombies. Lori and Chad also shared a trust level in referring to others. In examining the data, these dark scales were attached to, redacted, Charles, JJ, and Tylee. Many others were also provided with dark and light scales. Coincidentally, if you shared their belief system, your score was favorable. If you offered any opposition to their belief system or their destiny, you were seen as possessed. In reviewing the documents collected by agencies involved, the following would show that Lori and Alex conspired to murder Charles Vallow on 7/11/2019. The first evidence to cause harm to Charles Vallow was discovered in text messages between redacted and Lori Vallow on 11/3/18. Redacted is a friend of Lori Vallow and also the widow of Alex Cox, and we know that's his current girlfriend at the time. They got married, right? Redacted's cellular phone was seized and data extracted by the Gilbert Police Department after the death of her husband, Alex Cox, on 11/3/2018 at 14:40 hours. Redacted person tells Lori that she was told by God that she is to protect Lori. In July of 2019, redacted person told Lori that she had a vision that she would create storms and fire and will have the eye of the Lord. On February 6th of 2019 at 16:06 hours, Lori texted telling Lori texted redacted person telling her that Charles was blocking her gifts. From this point forward, there is specific conversation to cause harm to Charles Vallow, who has been referred to as dark spirit called Hiplos or Ned. And then there's all this redacted. Back to non-redacted is through text messages between Lori and Charles that were seen on Charles's phone. Lori would return to Texas on June 3rd of 2019. June 3rd, 2019, at 21:32 hours, Lori to redacted person just got home and got JJ to sleep. Let's go spiritually tonight and work on him. We give the timing to the Lord, but we don't need to relent. This is war. 6/19/2019 at 21:20 hours. Redacted person to Lori. Oh, and can you meet me at the temple in the morning? I have time and we can work on Hiplos. Remember, that's the name for Charles Vallow. Looking into Lori Vallow's web history using redacted, I saw that a web search was conducted on June 21st of 2019 for Social Security disability. Utilizing the URL attached to this web search, it took me to a Social Security disability application. The form allowed you to enter the applicant's information to be able to obtain a free benefits evaluation. The search is of importance as it would indicate an inquiry as to the benefits that Lori would be entitled to. In a text message that Lori sent to Chad Daybell on July 18, 2019, 1 week after Charles was murdered, she indicated the following. So I talked to the insurance company. He changed it in March, so it was probably Ned before we got rid of him. They can't tell me to who, of course, but it's done. I'll still get the $4,000 a month from Social Security. Lori would not have known this without completing the online benefit evaluation. Furthermore, the Social Security Administration did not have contact with Lori until she attended the appointment with them on August 12th of 2019 at 13:30 hours. This appointment date was located in Lori's iCloud account. It was at this time that Lori was provided with the actual amount of the benefit, which was close to the $4,000 she reported to Chad in July. On June 22nd, 2019, Alex Cox entered the conversation regarding Hiplos or Charles Vallow. 6/22/2019. Alex started to text redacted person from redacted area through a search warrant. The number was identified as belonging to Alex Cox. Okay. On 6/22/2019 at 19:02 hours, Alex sent redacted person a message saying, hey, redacted person, it's Alex. 6/27/2019, 10:18 hours. Redacted person to Lori. Do you think there is a way to change Hiplos to the light? 6/29/2019, Charles Vallow discovered a fictitious letter that Lori sent to redacted person. This letter was written as if it was from Charles Vallow asking Chad Daybell to come to Arizona to assist him with writing a book. The discovery would send everything into action. This discovery would send everything into action. Charles confronted Lori about fictitious letter, accusing her of writing a letter so that Chad Daybell could provide a reason to his wife to come to Arizona to visit Lori. Charles asked Lori to come clean with her relationship about Chad Daybell by the end of the day, or he would contact Tamara Daybell and inform her of the relationship. Following the discovery of the letter, Charles Vallow began talking to redacted person, Lori and Alex's brother, about his discovery as well as Lori's radical beliefs. The two then communicated with each other to plan an intervention on or around 7/10/2019. Charles had arranged to come to Arizona and also arranged travel for redacted. During this time, redacted, Lori and Chad continued to message about Charles, aka Hiplos. And this is all redacted here. Again, there is no obvious communication found between Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell to show that he was directly involved with the planning of Charles Vallow's murder. Lori Vallow found out about redacted person coming to town through her mother and redacted person. Lori found out about the potential intervention on 7/9/2019. She reached out to Alex Cox, redacted, and redacted to warn them of the elaborate plan that redacted and Charles had. Redacted and his son redacted, were picked up at the airport on 7/10/2019 by redacted mother. Redacted provided Lori with updates regarding redacted's whereabouts and asked Lori if she wanted to run interference. Lori told redacted that she was trying to figure it out. That's all redacted. There is no indication who redacted was talking about killing. In text messages found on the redacted iCloud, redacted asked Lori if she wanted to have their mother do a preemptive strike and confront redacted. Redacted told their mother no and asked that she just collect information. Based on the text messages that were located, it was apparent that they were trying to keep redacted away from Alex and come up with a plan of their own. Lori told her sister that she was headed to Alex's house on 7/10/2019 at 15:58 hours. And during this time, she continued to message Charles and never once confronted him about her knowing that something was planned. Lori reached out to redacted and convinced her to cancel a trip to Utah for a wedding, telling her, "You can't go at all. We need to stay here to defend ourselves," Lori added. "It's coming to a head. This week will change everything." Lori would also tell Alex, "Getting sleepy, so I'm going to need you to stay close to me the next couple of days." Redacted 2. She can't go to Utah. They are planking some kind of intervention, but want redacted out of the way, so I'm left alone. I need you to come get the stuff at your house tomorrow and secure it. Lots to do. Thank you for standing by me. It's all coming to a head this week. I will be like Nephi, I am told, and so will you. Nephi. On 7/11/2019 at 7:35 hours, Charles Vallow arrived at redacted South Forks Peaks Place to pick up JJ. When he arrived, he texted redacted telling him that Alex was there. Redacted told Charles that they were planning something, and Charles stated, "Absolutely." Redacted indicated that he was supposed to spend the night with Alex, but Lori probably blocked this. Following the murder of Charles Vallow, Lori took his rental vehicle and cellular phone. The GPS data associated with the phone indicated that the phone left the residence at 7:49 hours. Lori then went to Burger King to get food for JJ, Walgreens to get flip-flops for her and Tylee, and finally returned home at 8:48 hours. Alex would not call 911 until 8:32 hours to report the shooting. When reporting the incident, Alex indicated that it had just happened. He was provided with CPR instructions and he acted as if he was performing life-saving measures on Charles. It was not until emergency personnel began life-saving measures that they saw blood coming from Charles's body, and this would indicate that Alex performed no emergency aid. Based on this timeline, Charles, redacted, would have laid dead or dying for approximately 43 minutes before Alex called 911. During this time, phone records indicated that Alex called Lori. Lori, Tylee, and Alex told investigators about a physical altercation that was started by Charles. During this altercation, Lori left the residence with Tylee and JJ. As they were leaving, Tylee and Lori reported hearing a gunshot. Based on this investigation, it had been proven how valuable that Alex Cox was to Lori. His mission on this earth was to protect his sister. The shot into Charles's body as he laid on the floor and the delay in calling 911 would also validate their desire for him to die. In addition, Lori told police that Alex was asked to stay at her house to protect her from Charles when he arrived on 7/11/2020. Alex denied this and stated that he stayed at the house because they were going to go to the water park or go shooting on 7/11/2020, and the rest is redacted there. As part of this investigation, Alex performed a walkthrough for investigators. Alex indicated that as Charles was coming at him, he shot him twice in the chest while Charles was standing. Trajectory at autopsy discovered that one of these shots would be consistent with his statement. This shot would have gone through Charles and ended up in the baseboard. However, the second shot entered below Charles's ribcage and exited through his upper left shoulder, causing a shored wound and defect in the flooring where Charles was found. This angle would indicate that Charles was already laying on the floor when the second shot was fired. After the murder of Charles Vallow, additional text messages and emails were located that would indicate the murder was intentional and according to a master plan. One of these was a message sent to Lori from Chad Daybell. The message read, I got the inspiration to go back to my original death percentages that helped us track Charles, Ned, etc. Tammy is very close. Her percentage has fallen steadily since Hiplos left. It is encouraging. Messages on Redacted's phone would also show the intentionality of the murder of Charles Vallow. 7/11/2019, 23:31 hours, redacted to Lori. As I was working on Hiplos today in the temple, I was told he will be taken as he is. I don't know what that means. And then I was shown to only put the brightest light from the top and the bottom at the same time, meeting in the middle. So I've been doing that all day. 7/12/2019, 22:36 hours, redacted to redacted. Oh, okay. Hiplos is gone. It was a Nephi and Laban ending. I will tell you more when I see you in person or when you see Lori in person. I'm leaving for Chile on Monday for 2 weeks on 7/12/2019, redacted to Julie, right? I'm just happy it's over. According to the Mormon doctrine, Nephi is a prophet in the Book of Mormon and is commanded by his father, Lehi, to return to Jerusalem to obtain brass plates that contain genealogy records from Laban. Nephi and his two brothers, Laman and Lemuel, return to Jerusalem. When Laman attempts to get the plates from Laban, he is chased off in fear of his life, as Laban says he will slay him. They later return to Laban with all of their valuables and are chased off again. Nephi later goes to Laban's house and finds him passed out drunk. Nephi is commanded to slay Laban as he is delivered into Nephi's hands. Nephi uses Laban's sword to kill Laban. The story can be found in the Book of Mormon, 1 Nephi chapters 3-4. Through interviews conducted with Redacted and Redacted, the belief system regarding dark spirits and zombies was revealed. Both witnesses were in direct communication with Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell and were being provided instructions regarding their missions to prepare for the second coming of Christ. Both indicated that they were told long before 7/11/2019 that Charles had died and that his body was taken over by an evil spirit. Both witnesses gathered with Lori Vallow prior to 7/11/2019 to try and pray the spirits out of his body so Charles's spirit will no longer be in limbo. When Lori found out about Charles and Redacted were coming to town, she believed that they were going to kill her for her life insurance money. On 7/9/2019, Lori reached out to Redacted for help. Lori told Redacted in a text message that she needed to speak with her ASAP. Redacted replied, and Lori indicated that she was on the phone trying to figure out what to do. Redacted, and that's all Redacted. Lori then asked for the assistance of Redacted and Alex Cox to stand by her side for protection. And that was when Lori made the comment about being told that she was going to be like Nephi. Well, that's Redacted. Redacted and Redacted have both indicated that Lori got her advice from the direction from Chad Daybell. When giving instructions, Redacted stated that Lori would always say, I have been told. Messages identified above have been indicated that Chad Daybell was aware of the work with zombies and specifically the work that Redacted and Lori were doing on Charles prior to 7/11/2019. Based on the above synopsis and a myriad of other facts gathered in this case, it is recommended that Lori Vallow, Redacted, be charged with conspiracy to commit murder for the death of her husband, Charles Vallow, on 7/11/2019. And that's the end of that. So I'm going to end it there. And yeah, that's the size of it. That's why she is now facing those charges. But as we know, she is trying to be restored to competency to face trial because they don't have an insanity defense in Idaho. So she must be restored to sanity to be competent to face trial. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. And I just wanted to get this out there, to get this in the case files that we have. Talk to you later. Thank you again, D-Finite, and I hope you're all doing well. God bless, and prayers for all that need them. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.